Good evening, everyone. It's great to see a lot of you here for this special evening with Lori, and welcome to the Wednesday Going Within service. And to start the evening, thank you, Marcia. And I'd like to introduce our guest singer from Los Angeles, in the process of making her debut album. That's Rain Bijou.
Hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never feel those notes in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some helping heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance.
Time is a wheel in constant motion, always
I hope you
rolling
dance.
us along.
I
And
hope
tell
you
me who
dance.
wants to look back on the years and
I
wonder
hope you
where those years have gone.
I hope you dance. Thank you.
Thank you, Rain.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Stand up for our upcoming star, Rain Bijou, Jim Bianchi, and of course our beautiful Marcia Jen, who is my angel on earth. So welcome to the Going Within gathering. My name is Reverend Lori McMacken, and this is a joyful yet very heartfelt evening. I appreciate everyone that is here this evening, and I guess really I see people here from the North Hollywood church when I first started, David Kane and Jess Seckendorf. And I see people here from the Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. Are you here, Carlsbad? Yes. And this is my family that really raised me as a minister, and no matter how bad I was, they still loved me. So I really appreciate that. And then, of course, Reverend Tammy's here, who brought me into Seaside. Oh my God, Amazing Grace, Reverend Tammy, and thank you so much. And Catherine Bonin, who's been Reverend Catherine has been a big part of my spiritual journey. And oh my God, look at this, Reverend Maddie. So Reverend Maddie is here, and she is one of my great mentors from the Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. So I feel so delighted to be here right now with each and every one of you, and thank you for being a part of this amazing journey. For we come together on a Wednesday evening to tap into that power and that presence of God and all the universal laws that govern our life, and just to worship this presence on a daily basis. So we are like-minded people, we are God-seeking people, and I am grateful to have spent this wonderful time with you. And so this evening, you recognize that this is a candle lighting service, and we have many of our brothers and sisters in the world who are in a state of devastation from the hurricanes and floods. And I just invite you to come forward and to set an intention for our brothers and sisters in the world, that they have the inner peace, that they receive all the supplies, whatever they need in their life, and just recognize that whatever we cultivate within that inner peace, that we can move that out to them, or that inner love or loving kindness. So I invite you to come forward to set an intention for this evening as we practice the presence together.
You guys can dance if you want, you know. You know this song. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. That's right. I can see all obstacles in my way. That's right. Gone are the dark clouds that have me blind. It's gonna be a bright
Sunshiny day. Be bright, sunshiny day.
I guess I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Yeah. Here is my rainbow I've been waiting for. It's gonna be a bright, bright
Sunshiny day.
Oh, it's gonna be a bright
Sunshiny day.
Look all around, and nothing but blue skies.
Look straight ahead, nothing but blue I can see clearly now, the rain is gone.
That's right, come on.
I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. Gonna be bright, sunshiny day.
That's right. Oh,
Gonna be bright, sunshiny day.
oh, 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 it's
Gonna be a bright,
bright
sunshiny
All righty. Beautiful.
I invite Marcia Jen to come forward. So now we're just going to turn the channel a little bit and go a little deeper. We're going to practice the presence together. And we have a very wonderful gift where Marcia Jen will be here to take us to a deeper place with the harp. And I just want to acknowledge my family is here this evening. Also, my mother and father are down front. And also Scotty, who has supported this amazing spiritual journey for the last 2.5 years. So thank you, Scotty. So I invite you to close your eyes and to go within. And just to breathe into this heart space. And just think of someone that brings so much love and so much joy into your life. And wrap that feeling of love and joy into your heart space and lock that feeling in. And as we move deeper into the presence, into our breath, allow that feeling of love to permeate throughout your whole body. And as we move deeper into the silence, allow this feeling of love to fill up the whole sanctuary. As we become a container for light. As we practice this presence as one.
In gratitude, I celebrate this day, knowing that we are surrounded in joy, in love, in laughter, and good friends. I know it is the beloved Spirit that is assisting each one of us on our individual spiritual journey. For I know the soul lives for its own expansion. I know our experiences reflect our consciousness. The bridge between the known and the unknown is love. For love awakens the soul and expresses its beauty as it gives life meaning and purpose. I know all of our experiences are an outpicturing and a manifestation of our consciousness. And I know Reverend Lori, she walks a sacred path. And the fruit of her surrender is grace. I know every step along the way is supported, guided, and guarded by Spirit. For I know there's extraordinary meaning in every step. I know as she continues to follow the path and her calling of her ministry, I know she continues to move in the direction of her prayers, fulfilling God's divine plan for her, and how good it is. And so it is. Good evening. My name is Kay Samuelson, and welcome. Trudy is holding the light for us this evening, and herself and myself will be at the chapel for prayer after the service. So please come join us if you like. The talk title is Walk in a Casual Manner. Virtually all cultures recognize that there are certain transition points in our lives when we are meant to attend more carefully to matters of the spirit. Adolescents entering adulthood, seekers arriving at midlife, and those entering the last stage of their lives are all ripe for pilgrimage. So too are those who have had a transition thrust upon them unwillingly by death, divorce, or other personal trials. All of these experiences can open our hearts and souls to the new insights to be found on pilgrimage. What places beckon to you? What dream do you want to fulfill? What task does your soul seem to have in store for you? Listen deeply to the small whisper inside of you, the one that will guide you where you need to go. Pilgrimage is a way that God answers that yearning to physically travel, to discover God and the truths about ourselves. By going on a pilgrimage to a specific place where God and God's own have acted in the past, it sinks in that God really does exist and really is at work among us, trusting that we can search for and be eager for what God is doing within us right now. The pilgrimage, done out of devotion and true eagerness, let us answer a yearning to be intimate with God and sends wisdom to the soul and to the mind. It helps to set aside our doubts and make our surrender to God less half-hearted. In that way, it turns us into truer disciples of Christ and gives us a purer sense of mission and purpose. The most common effect of a pilgrimage is that it solidifies something that is growing within you. Perhaps you're doubting what you're doing now with your life. The pilgrimage will end that doubt, or may give it shape so that you can change course with confidence. The key thing about pilgrimage is that the pilgrim prays and meditates on the Word of God the whole way there, indeed, before they leave, in order to prepare the soul, and while they're there and the whole way back. Nevertheless, pilgrims are meant to share their newfound wisdom and insights with others. And perhaps more than anything, they are meant to realize that our entire life is meant to be a pilgrimage, a seeking after the divine in moments both ordinary and extraordinary. So let's give a shout out for Reverend Lori.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Kay. Wow. Kay has been on this journey with me from the beginning. Do you remember 2.5 years ago on Sunshine Day, we had her last evening here? Yes, I was here that evening, and they introduced me, and they introduced Debbie. And I remember being in the back in the family room, and this place was filled with so many people, and my eyes were this big. They were as big as saucers, and I had fear in my eyes, like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I stepping into? And Kay looked at me and said, you signed up for this. I remember when I was going to go into my practitioner panel, okay? Ginny was my teacher, and I was ready to graduate here, and Kay's praying with me, and I'm crying because I don't know if they're going to like me or if I'm going to pray or if I'm going to say the right things. And I'm really, really upset, and she's just looking at me like, girl, you signed up for this, you know? It's like our soul has this yearning to be more and to do more and to grow more. And when we are spiritual beings, each and every one of us here are on a pilgrimage. Each and every one of us has this soul calling to transform our lives. And when our soul is calling to transform our lives, it doesn't matter how scary it is, we have to move into that, correct? Yeah, Joseph Campbell says that when someone goes on a journey, it's either going to be a physical experience or it's going to be a spiritual experience. If it's a physical experience, the person is going to give up their life for the betterment of somebody else. And if it's a spiritual experience, the person is going to go through a transformation for the betterment of the whole community. So I'm hoping for the latter. So I bought another ticket. And Sandy and I were walking the other day, and we were talking about how many times we have bought a ticket in our life as something that just scared the bejeebers out of us. And there's so many times, but there's something deeper within us that wants to grow, that wants to expand. Because when we're spiritual beings, we're past the relative world of it's good and it's bad and everything on the relative world is affecting me. We're on this higher plane where we're just expansion. We're in a spiral of expansion, and we're in a spiral of growth. And so on Monday, I fly to Madrid because I bought my ticket to walk the Camino de Santiago. I can't wait. Now, actually, this journey started like 8 months ago, last November. One of the congregants from the Carlsbad Centers for Spiritual Living came to the Wednesday night service, and her name is Ellen Cook. Ellen, raise your hand. It's her fault. So she just told me that she got back from the Camino. She went through Portugal, and I was like, oh my God. And there was something, I didn't really know much about it. I know Dr. Mark Vieira went on the Camino, but my soul was calling. And I said, well, can I come over to your house and find out more about it? So Sandy and I went to her house, and she pulled out her backpack and her walking sticks and all her maps and told us all about it. And right away, I was like, oh my God, I've got to go. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, but I really have to do this trip. And she said, I want to go again next year, but I want someone to go with me. Oh my God. So I bought the ticket. And I have no idea what I'm in for. But what I do know is that it's going to be a transformational experience. I know it's a deep calling. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the trip and then about some of the lessons that I've learned already on the way, just from the practice and for preparing for the trip. So actually, the Camino de Santiago is called the Way of St. James, and it is in northwestern Spain. And here's a map. If you see that really thick red line, that is from the tip of France to the edge of Spain in Galicia. And at that mark is a big cathedral where the remains of the Apostle St. James is buried. And if you look under there in the tan areas, Portugal, and that's where Ellen had walked last year. So at the end of the journey is the Cathedral de Santiago de Compostela. And this is the Cathedral of St. James. Like I said before, he was one of the 12 apostles, and he was the brother of John, Mark, Matthew, Luke, John, right? And he was the first apostle to be killed. He was beheaded. He was in Spain. He was actually St. James the Great because he spoke the word of Jesus in Spain, and he also helped them with many, many battles. And he had this vision to go back to Jerusalem, and when he did this, Herod the king had him executed. He had a sword that cut off his head. And is in the Bible, Acts 12:2, that Herod had executed Saint James. At that time, his remains was put into a tombstone, and many, many, many years later, some of his followers decided to bring him back to Spain. And the king at the time, Alfonso II, decided to build this amazing cathedral around him. The cathedral was done and consecrated in 1211, and at that time, the king was the first pilgrimage to move into the cathedral and to finish the pilgrimage. This is a scallop shell, and the legend goes that when the boat with the remains of St. James came to Santiago, the boat accidentally ran into a wedding party. There was a white stallion with the groom that was on top of the boat, and it fell into the water, and they drowned. Yes, and then out of nothing and out of nowhere, up came the horse and the groom, and they were filled with seaweed and scallop shells. And so this, they said, was the grace of St. James. And now the scallop shell is a symbol for the pilgrim who walks the pilgrimage, knowing that the grace of St. James will always protect each and every pilgrim. This is the really magical part of it, that the way of St. James is lit by the Milky Way. And Compostela means the stars, the light of the stars. It's the galaxy of billions of stars and also planets. So this whole way that we walk, we'll be walking under the Milky Way. Mm-hmm. And this is what they have for us when we are walking. They tell you exactly which way to go. So it's important that you're conscious, because I've read books that people became unconscious and got lost. And people, if they see a pilgrim with a shell on their backpack, they try to point them in the right direction. But who wants to walk 5 miles out of way when you're already walking 15 miles? And this is an interesting part, too, that you have a pilgrim passport. On the left is a passport, and every day you have to have that passport stamped twice, once in a restaurant and once in a hotel. And at the very end, Ellen was saying they really look at that passport. And if you don't have that stamp, they're not going to give you that certificate. And you can choose to have a certificate for walking the pilgrim for religious reasons, or you can choose to have that for tourism reasons. So this is the mind part. So what I've been preparing, my mind, my body, and my spirit. So the mind part was just reading all the books, talking to the people, going out to San Juan Capistrano. There was a person there that invited me into her home and told me all about the journey. And then I found out she was a practitioner. How amazing was that? So she goes on it every single year. So it's been quite the journey just reading the books. And so the body and the spirit really came home this last couple of weeks. And there's 3 people that really influenced that. And one, her name is Joyce Rube, and she wrote a book called Walk in a Relaxed Manner. She was a nun, and her partner that went with her was a priest. She was in her 60s, and the partner was in their 70s. And this is a very practical application of walking the Camino de Santiago. And what she says is that it's important that you practice and you prepare. Practice and you prepare. And I thought, well, gosh, I practice and prepare for everything. Do you know how many hours I practice and I prepare for a Wednesday night? Many, many, many hours for this 1 hour of presentation. How many hours as a professional dancer that I practiced and prepare? It was 8 to 6 hours a day of training. And then before the show opened, the last week, it was 10 out of 12 hours as practice and preparation. And she was talking about how she resisted the practice and the preparation. Her and her partner were only walking like 2 miles a day, and she thought that it was enough. And he said, oh no, we've got to get up to 15 miles a day, and we have to get that heavy backpack on us, and we have to do the journey, otherwise we won't be prepared for the journey. And so when she was on the journey, she talked about how grateful she was that she dropped that resistance of practicing and preparing for what she was doing. And even us as spiritual beings, it's important that we are in practice all the time, every day. Every step is a prayer, right? And our meditation, and we're feeding our mind and our heart and our body and our soul. So as I looked at what we were doing, our schedule, I realized we were walking anywhere between 10 to 15 miles a day. And right now, I was at 8 miles for a long time. And that's like 2.5 hours. That's 3 hours a day of walking. That's a lot, right? So now I realize if I'm going on this trip, I have to get to the 10 to 15 mile mark. And I am not there yet. I need 6 hours to practice walking the Camino. So from my house out to Barranquitos, and all the way back to the trail is a 5-mile hike. So I started to do 3 5-mile hikes a day. And this is where I really discovered where I was going to get in trouble if I didn't practice and prepare. Because on that 10th mile, my feet started to burn and they were hurting. And I didn't know if I could take another step. And as I realized that I was walking, that I was pushing, because I have this app on my phone called Map Your Hike, so I know how many miles I'm going. And my goal in my head is I have to get to the 15-mile mark, okay? And so I'm pushing, and I am in such pain. I feel like just falling to the ground. And I realized that everything that I do in life, I have to have an end result. You know, everything that we do in life, it's like, okay, I have to get to the bank. Okay, I have to check off my list. I have to do the task. I have to become this. I have to become that. I have to achieve. I have to be successful. I'm always pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And it made me stop for a minute and think, what am I doing? I'm pushing my life and I don't have to push. And then I thought about Joyce Roop, how she talked about her and her partner, how they would push to get to one albergue to another, and all these young people were passing them up, and they were pushing and pushing, and finally, her and her friend had a talk, and they said, you know what? We're destroying our inner peace. We're here to be with God. We're here every step of the journey. And so they had to talk about that. It's okay if it takes all day long. We don't have to push to get there. And as she realized that, she restored the harmony that was in them. She restored everything that they came for the pilgrimage, to be with God, to be with the trees, to be with the grass, to be with the flowers, to be in the ever-present moment of now. And this is what I was learning last week when I was trying to push past the 10 to 15 mile mark. And she tells a great story about a friend that went on the Camino, and she asked him for any advice, and he said, you know, my feet were just filled with blisters, and a man of great wisdom sat me down, and he said, drink a lot of water and just walk in a casual manner. Walk in a relaxed way and don't push, and you will finish the Camino. And that's exactly what he did. And when I was walking with my girlfriend, Julie, the spin girl, I always bring her up sometimes, she was telling me that she had a girlfriend who was short and a little stout that walked Mount Kilimanjaro. And I guess they will carry your stuff for you. And there was 4 of them in the group, and 3 young ones just started climbing the mountain. And she realized that she couldn't do this. And she told her guide, I don't think I can do the walk. I'm not in shape. He said, yes, you can. We're going to carry your bags. And this is how you walk. Just one step at a time. And so what happened, the 3 youngsters that went up the mountain, their feet were filled with blisters, and they had to turn around, and they had to come back down, and she made it to the top of the mountain. Just one step at a time, just enjoying the journey, the grass and the trees and the people. Can we be in the ever-present moment now of life? And this is already my lesson before I even get out there. It's just amazing what is happening. And another person that really kind of affected my journey and my intentions is she's the Peace Pilgrim. Have you ever heard of the Peace Pilgrim? Oh my goodness gracious. She was born in like 1809 or 1909. She died in 1981. And if you ever get a chance to watch her on YouTube, the joy that just pours through her is so amazing. And she talks about her spiritual journey of living a selfish journey for a long time and then spiraling up into an expansion and living at a higher journey and wanting to be a beneficial presence in the world and deciding that she's going to walk across the United States. And her friends and family said, no, don't do that. And she was like, no, I'm going to walk across the United States. I have this that feeling that you get, that pull from spirit. And she wore a t-shirt that said the Peace Pilgrim, and that's what she called herself. She wasn't going to eat until someone gave her food. She wasn't going to sleep until someone gave her a place to rest, but she wasn't going to ask for that. They were going to have to offer her that. And so one thing that she did teach, she taught the Golden Rule, but she taught the Golden Rule as a universal law, that you would treat others as you would want others to treat you. And she said, this is a universal law. And she believed in all the universal principles. She was a mystic of her time. There's 3 things that she taught. This is the way of peace, to overcome evil with good, falsehood with truth, and hatred with love, the Peace Pilgrim. And so she really inspired me that both Joyce and her inspired me that one of my intentions while I'm on the Camino is to cultivate inner peace on my pilgrimage. So no matter how much I'm hurting, to sit and stop and to walk slowly. And don't think that I have to be in a hurry to get anywhere, and to enjoy the trees and the flowers and the grass and everything that is around me. And so there's another person that really affected my intentions that I have for this peace pilgrimage. I guess it would be called that. I just slipped. And everyone knows Marshall Peterson. Yeah, he just made his transition. They had a gathering at the beach. Now, they're going to have a service here at Seaside when Christian comes back, but they had a gathering at the beach 2 weeks ago, and it was an amazing gathering because the group of people were eclectic. They had people from the Carlsbad Centers for Spiritual Living. They had people from Seaside. They had the men's club from Seaside. They had a lady from Conscious Loving. They had this man named Dennis, and he was from the meditation of Saint Germain and the Ascended Masters. So Marshall was the type of person that he was taking class from anything and everyone. He was just hungry for God. He was hungry for spirit. And actually, he had taken one of my classes, E Squared, and Scott and I actually took a nutrition class with him. And he had this big smile, and he just emanated light. And he was such a loving person. And so Catherine did a beautiful job. You did the reading from the Course in Miracles, and he took a Course in Miracles class. He took everyone's class. It was just amazing. And his fiancée was there, and she said that Marshall lived with 3 intentions. 1 is to embody inner peace. 2, to embody joy, eternal joy. And number 3 is to practice loving kindness. And he was the type of person that he knew someone where his son was being executed, and he wanted to go say goodbye to his son before he was executed, and he drove him to say goodbye to his son. He's the type of person when he's in line buying food, he's also buying food for the person next to him that doesn't even know him. Just a loving human being. And the interesting part that there was a man whose name is Dennis there that holds meditations for Saint Germain and the Ascended Masters, and he got to know Marshall, and he said to him, hey, there's a man here, he's giving soul readings. Would you like to have a soul reading? And Marshall said, yes, I would love to. So he had a soul reading. And then after the soul reading, his friend came up to him, he said, do you know that guy? He goes, yeah, I know Marshall. Do you know that he is a walking Bodhisattva? that is his soul's journey. He was here as an enlightened soul, and he touched everyone that was around him. So I'm going to take that intention with me on my pilgrimage to really practice inner peace, that loving, joyful life, and also that loving kindness. I love that. So as I thought about my intentions, I was on the Bariquitas Lagoon, and I was thinking about joy, and I was thinking how joyful the trees look, and I was looking at the blue beetles and the snakes that went across the path there. And all of a sudden I looked out the lagoon and I saw a fish jump and then another fish jump. And I was like, oh my God, the universe is hearing me think right now. Everything around me is joyful. I just had that feeling of, my oneness of life. And I was thinking about joy. I was thinking about probably my favorite story that just happened recently to me. I was in North Hollywood, and I was really mad. I have apartments, and I was really mad at one of my tenants because he had a leaky toilet, and it cost me $500. Now, that would make you mad too, right? So I'm walking into Home Depot, and I'm just steaming. And I thought, I gotta change this. I gotta shift this. How am I gonna do it? And so as I'm walking to Home Depot, there's a Hispanic man standing next to me. He works there, and he's walking with me. And he says, I feel great. And I don't look at him, but I say, I feel great. You see, because I love to roll my R's. And he says, I feel great. And he snickers. And I say, I feel great. And then he said, it's great to be alive. And I said, it's great to be alive. And then I don't look at him, and I go and pay for my stuff. And he comes up to me. He says, you made my day. I said, no, you changed my life. So when I want to shift, I feel great. Say it after me. I feel great. I feel great. I feel great to be alive. I feel great to be alive. So I told Ellen that on Monday, her name is changing. She's coming to LA now, and my name is going to change. It's going to be Laura. Laura. Say Laura. Laura. It has to roll the R. So that will be my Hispanic name, and I'm truly, truly excited about that. And then just the loving kindness, One thing I'm learning right now about being on the Camino is that you have to take care of yourself. You are number one. If you don't cream your feet, and if you don't put bandages around them, if you don't have the right shoes, if you don't walk in perfect cadence, you are going to hurt yourself. If you don't drink the water, and if you don't, it's just, you are number one. And when you practice loving kindness within yourself, then you can practice loving kindness within the world. And so I'm on the Bariquitos, I'm at the information center, and a man comes out and he starts talking to me, who works at the information center. He says, do you want water? I was like, no, I'm okay. I can make it home. Now, I have a hard time receiving. And so I sat there and I said, Lori, you've got enough water, but why don't you go in there and take the water from him? And I walked in there. I said, you know what? I would love to have the water. So he, gave me some water. He said, would you like to see my butterfly garden? Yes, I would love to see your butterfly garden. He said, would you like to see my butterfly collection? I would love to see your butterfly collection. I also have a beetle collection. Okay, let me see that beetle collection. And I thought, if I didn't open myself up to receive, I never would have had this lesson with this person. So that's my next intention when I'm on the Camino. I'm going to be open to receive inner peace, eternal joy, and loving kindness to me and all people in the world. Did I have another one? Let me see. I think I do. Oh, did I show you Marshall? That was his thing. You can see the light. Yeah, if you think that peace and happiness are somewhere else, you will run after them and you'll never arrive. Tit not hum, right? So, anyways, this has been an amazing journey with you, and your life is a pilgrimage. And so I invite you to set an intention for your life. And when we set these God intentions, the qualities of God, and we embody them within the consciousness of our mind, then we can express them out into the world, whether we're expressing inner peace or eternal joy or love or kindness to other people. And so at this time in my pilgrimage and your pilgrimage, because we've come here together and we've walked this journey together, everyone here has affected my life. And I am so grateful for each and every single one of you. I want to let you know that now. And now we are going to be branching off. I'm going to be going to this journey, and you'll be moving on to that journey, but we'll always come together as one, and that's the beauty of this teaching. And where's Marcia? Marcia, are you around? Yes. Because I just want to leave you actually with a beautiful Sufi dance, words from a beautiful Sufi dance. And this is from, actually it's a Christian dance. It's one of my favorite dances. And if you come to my ordination, I'm sure Jim Chow will probably lead this dance. And these are the last words that Jesus left for the people of the world. He said, "All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you."
Remember me as loving you.
Yeah, join us.
All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. All I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving
I invite you to close your eyes and to go within, but I did appreciate you turn off the sound when I was singing. So I invite you to close your eyes and to go within and just recognize this beautiful moment right here and right now. For all I ask of you is forever to remember me as loving you. For my great appreciation and my great love for you, I see you only in the light of wholeness, only in the light of good. And I see all people in that divine light. For I'm grateful for each person who said yes to come here today to just show their love and support for me. And I see you, Reverend Debbie O'Donnell, and thank you for being here too. I love you. And so in this moment right here, right now, I give great gratitude for all my people. I great gratitude for Scott for being with me on this beautiful journey, and for my mom and dad, and for each and every person here. And so it is.
Song is for you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Walking in a casual manner means walking in faith. So let's remember that. You call me out upon the waters, oceans deep, your feet may fail. Oceans deep, my faith will stand, and I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I your grace abounds in deepest waters, your sovereign hand
That's so beautiful. Very good.
She is our upcoming star.
Yeah.
I just love her. Amazing, easy to look at. So this is the time of our service where yeah, she's beautiful, isn't she? Yes. We practice the giving and receiving, which is a universal principle. And I invite our ushers to come forward. Dennis and Ginny Mills, they've been here for 20 years. Give them a big hand. Wow. Karen, I'm going to take a picture of you guys. Smile. I'm just so grateful. Dennis is always there to meditate with me every Wednesday night, and Ginny is always here to set up, so thank you. And Karen's always around Seaside, help them out. So I invite you to take your gift and put it over your heart and close your eyes and go within. And just so grateful for the bountiful gifts that are bestowed upon Seaside within each and every person here, knowing that doors of opportunities are always opening. There's infinite abundance of supply that's coming to each and every person, knowing that your gifts are given with grace and they're multiplied abundantly, and they bless your world, and so it is. Oh, before I give it to you, I want to... Together we say, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, all that I receive, and so it is. Thank you. That's the Milky Way.
Give, I receive a beautiful life. As I give, I receive a beautiful life. As I give, I receive a beautiful life. Blessings flow from me to you. As I give, I receive a bountiful life. As I give, I receive a bountiful life. As I give, I receive a bountiful life. Blessings flow from me to you. As I give, I receive a gracious life. As I give, I receive a gracious life. As I give, I receive a gracious life. Blessings flow from me to you. To you.
Thank you, Marcia. Marcia and I have been working together for about 2.5 years now. She Sufi dances, and we hike together, and we really have a good time. I just love it when she's here. She's such an earth angel and just takes us to a deep place with her music. So what's going on? Wow, Reverend Bill, there he is. Raise your hand. He's going to be handling the last 3 weeks of the Going Within gathering. We have Terry next week with Jim Bianchi, and we have one of our ministerial students, Nicole, speaking. The following week, we have Reverend Bill again. We do, but it's going to be an all-male cast. We have TJ Moss from Mojo Jackson and Jim Bianchi. The following week, we have Reverend Bill with another ministerial student, and Michael Paul Smith. All right. And after that, the Dances of Universal Peace are going to be here for the next 3 years at least. I just want to let you know that we've arranged that. November 12th is my ordination. It's called Eat, Dance, Pray. Everyone's invited. We're going to have so much fun. Marquis, my Rockette girlfriend, is going to come and sing. And we also have, I think maybe the Seaside Sisters are going to do the 1 Billion Rising, which will be a lot of fun. We'll have a flash mob. We have a DJ, Steve Colucci's coming back, and he'll be DJing, and we'll do a little bit of Sufi dancing. Let me see. Oh, they didn't come. Oh, you want to know what I want? I thought I put the power up one on there. Kat, come up here for a second, so they can see how beautiful you are. Here's another beauty. Kat is going to be the face of the Wednesday night. She'll be arranging all the speakers and doing a Q&A. So just see this lovely face, and she'll be taking on the Wednesday night, so thank you so much, and I bless you, and it's going to be beautiful. So that will be the first week of October. And Rain will be here for the opening, yeah, so make sure you're here that first day to send them off, yeah. You can stay up here, Kat. And then everyone stand for the universal blessing. I would love to have all my practitioners who have served this year with me to come forward for the closing song. Rebecca, and who else is here? Oh, Deborah, Brian. Thank you. Come on up.
Well,
look at the kid. She grew up.
Reverend Lori,
Yes.
we have something very special for you. I'm coming, and I want to invite the staff and crew from the Wednesday night Going Within service.
Wow. Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. What is it? It's a little award?
Yes, it is an award.
Oh my goodness. I earned it? Okay, I'm not good at this. Look at everyone. I got to take a picture of you guys.
And while you're opening that, I just want to say on behalf of the Wednesday night staff and crew, thank you so much. You've inspired so many people.
Thank you.
And you've always just been a joy since you've been here, and it's been a joy to spend these Wednesday nights with you.
Cute. Thank you.
Yes, it's been an honor for all of us. This has been a pleasure every single Wednesday night. It's going to be really sad to let you go.
Thank you. How sweet.
We love you. We love
it
you.
has a
Love
little
you.
going within. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jenny. Thank you. Do I open it now?
Yes. Please open it now, please.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness
thank you.
gracious. I didn't want to have another birthday.
No.
Wow. Thank you.
But there's more.
Music. What is it? Uh-oh. This looks like I'm going to be doing some journaling, maybe. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh.
We got this for you so that on your beautiful pilgrimage,
look
you
at
can write your
that.
sacred thoughts and
Oh, my God.
put in things that are meaningful to you.
Oh, how
and
beautiful. Thank you
I
so
saw
much.
it, I thought of you.
Thank you
We
so
thought-
much. It's beautiful. I'll take that with me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness gracious, I've been spoiled. Thank you so much.
And on behalf of all of you, we honor you for honoring our Reverend Lori,
Yeah,
who will
thank
come
you.
back and share the walk of life.
I will. I would love to. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
There is cake in the back as soon as we bless out.
All right. So, thank you.
Big round of applause for Reverend Lori.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let's do the universal blessing one more time. Together we say, may all beings be well and happy. May all beings be free from strife. May all beings return to love. Peace be with you forevermore. And together. So beautiful. side. May you walk in peace. Please join us in the family room for tea and cake. I want to say hi.
Not lost, I am exploring. Life is an adventure worth enjoying. Oh, I may not know where I'm going. I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring. Exploring, life is an adventure worth enjoying. Oh, I may not know where I'm going. I am not lost, I am exploring. I am not lost, I am exploring. Exploring, life is an adventure worth enjoying. Though I may not know where I'm going, I am not lost, I am exploring.